Everyone, I hope you all are doing well. This is Radhika here again, and this video is going to be about how to break generational curses. Um, so, before we do that, let's understand what is a generational curse. And I know it sounds like a very two very big words, generational curse, but that's what everyone calls it, and that's why I'm calling it that, because it just gets easier to use that term, so that when people are researching it, it gets easy to look up things with that term. But don't think of it as a curse. Maybe just think of it as a pattern that no one has given a good thought about. And it's like a conditioning, when someone is not awakened and they keep following a pattern, it's that. But yeah, that's like a curse, because it's not doing you any good, it's doing you harm. So that behavior, that pattern is like a curse that generation by generation by generation is getting passed on in a very unaware, unawakened fashion, especially in a family. And that's why we call it generational curse, because that's how families progress, generation through generation through generation. Um, so yeah, that's how you say how the term gets its origin, I think. So yeah, when you break a generational curse, you are actually creating an entirely different timeline, an entirely different reality, an entirely different way of being. So when you actually successfully break a generational curse, your energy will have reached the Vishuddha chakra and the third eye chakra. So you are reaching the ether element now. You are changing timelines for yourself, for the people who come after you, and also actually for the people who have been there before you. Because by you breaking the generational curse, or karma as people call it, you are actually not just helping yourself and the future generations, you are also helping, in a way, the past generations. So they are also dissolved of a lot of baggage that they have carried and passed down to you. So yeah, so what is a generational curse? It's basically a conditioning that you receive from your family when you're growing up. So there is also societal conditioning and cultural conditioning, which we'll keep separate, but let's just talk about family. So it's a way of being in that family. It's a way of living in that family. It's a way of thinking. It's a way of doing. So it's something that shapes an entire personality for a child who is born in that family. So it's belief systems, it's the way you do things, it's what you believe in, how you behave, how you operate. All of these things are passed down generation by generation by generation. So it's a kind of brainwashing, but it's not to brainwash a child. It's just the way the family has survived and just the way the family has coped with this reality and that's what they know. So yeah, it happens in childhood, especially this conditioning, because when we are a child, we are like a clean slate, and anyone can draw anything on us. And the way we see what has been drawn on us is we use the people around us as mirrors, to see. So to see what has been drawn on us, we look at the mirror. So we look at the people around us and we see, are they appreciating me or are they criticizing me? And then the child kind of picks up all this validation, approval, confidence, love, cherishment, everything that they receive from their environment, and they kind of make it their own. They make it their personality. So if you tell a child every day, you are intelligent, you are brave, you are kind, you are capable, you can face your fears, you can do whatever you want to, there's no limits to what you can do, it is more likely that when they grow up, they will believe that their inner voice will tell them what you have told them when they were a child, or what the family together has told the child when the child was growing up. So that becomes the child's inner voice, and the way the family is becomes the child's conditioning. So the child picks up lifestyle, morals, beliefs, etc. from the birth family. So if the morals are kind of loose in this family, if they throw trash everywhere, or they are just like little okay with breaking the rules here and there, so the child is going to pick these things up. And unless the child attains like a state of awareness where maybe society or school is telling them that you should not break the laws, then they might question that what my family is doing, is this right or is this wrong. So they can get that awareness, but for a lot of people they don't, because it's also kind of drilled into a child that family is very important. And the child actually feels that, because for children family is very important. They are codependents, they need that mirroring to be done for them to develop a sense of self, for them to develop an ego and a sense of being who they are, because they don't have any ego when they come into this reality. So yeah, so they do believe family is important, and that's why consciously and subconsciously we all pick up a lot of traits from our birth family and from our relatives, and from these mirrors that we have in our early childhood. So what are these curses that we are talking about? Curse is not always a bad thing. Sometimes it can also be a good thing, but a good thing done to a great extent is also a bad thing. So if the family didn't have a middle way of doing things, or if you yourself are an extreme person, you take everything to the extreme, then even a nice thing that you inherited from your family could be like a curse. Like niceness or kindness, if you're too kind, then you will get like a narcissistic person will use you, will use your kindness. So it's not always a bad thing, but mostly these are bad things. That that those are the curse type qualities that hurt the adult child the most. So yeah, so or even the younger child. So yeah, so mostly these are like addictions. So addiction to alcohol, drugs, eating, collecting money or collecting things. Like a family might feel like uh, for safety sake we always have to collect, and traveling or spending money, extra money, like is really frowned upon in that family. So the child might pick up this habit that I just have to collect money because something might happen, and the child doesn't know what that something is, but there's this fear that has been put into this child that something might happen, so I always have to save money. It could be collecting things, materialism. The more the things we have, the higher our status is in society, etc. It could be addiction to looks. So the people in the family might be really addicted to the way they look. They might always be judging other people based on their looks. It could be authority. So like a family might be really proud that, oh, dad is the CEO of this company. So a child who grows up in that family might always feel that, oh, I have to live up to that label of being a CEO or something like that. It could be sex addictions, porn addictions, some perversions, different kinds of perversions. It could also be sexual abuse, because sexual abuse is often spread by either members of a family or close friends or relatives of a family. So that's how sexual abuse also moves from generation to generation to generation, because a child who has been sexually abused is a potent candidate to be a sexual abuser when they grow up. I'm not saying everyone is. Some people actually help themselves, by getting therapy and doing work on themselves. But yeah, it is an energy that has been put into you, due to no fault of your own. but that is how it actually transfers generation to generation. It could also be dynamics or way of thinking, like superiority complex, or it could be inferiority complex. It could be NPD. It could be narcissistic personality disorder. It could be bipolar personality disorder. It could be a lot of extreme drama and this state of anxiety or state of just chaos all the time in the family, and only in chaos do they feel like they are happy or something is happening. If things are calm and quiet, they feel like no one is having any fun, nothing is happening, so they create some chaos. Those kind of people. There could be people who have extreme emotional outbursts, so the whole family might pride themselves to being extremely open emotionally, but what that means is they are just always emotional and high strung people, always ready to passionately fight over something or they have no middle ground, they can't be calm. Yeah, and it could also be physical abuse, like hitting children or hitting each other, or expressing themselves in a very very physical way of actual violence, fights towards each other. It could also be choices like alliance to a particular political party. So, it's an unsaid rule that everyone in this house supports this person and this person only. It could be alliance to a country, like, you're not supposed to leave your home country or your home city. It could be a profession. So, only highly intellectual professions are considered good in this family. If you want to be like a an artist or something, no, that's not done. We don't do that. It could be a way of living like minimalism or materialism. It could be religion. Everyone born in this family has to follow this religion. It could be thought patterns, business, that everyone in this family has to do business, etc. So, if you think about it, there are like million possibilities of generational curses. So what you have to do is you kind of really have to analyze that what you feel and what you think, is this really your thinking, or is this something that you have picked up from your birth family? So we do pick up things from other places as well, but those are usually the things that really resonate with us, and that's why we pick them up. Like if a family eats meat and suddenly one person in this family decides not to eat meat, or they see someone who's a vegan and they feel, oh, I like that, and they pick up that. Now that's a pattern that you have picked up because that actually resonated with you as a human being, as a person. So that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about something that you just have been doing because that is the way you thought things are being done, and that is the way they were done when you were a child. So those are the things that you actually have to notice, that am I doing this just because I've always seen this done before, or am I doing this because this is something that I want to do with my complete awareness? So when you start asking yourself that those questions, you will see a lot of patterns that you have been following in life will just fade away and they will literally like fall off you, and you will feel so much lighter once you have started doing that. And it could be really simple things. It could be simple things like I don't have an example right now. It could be a simple thing like maybe you always saw that whenever your dad was upset, he would eat a lot. And so you have picked up this pattern from him. That was my husband, by the way, he just stepped in the balcony. So, you might have picked up that pattern from your dad, maybe that every time you're upset, you eat a lot. And you don't know why you do that, but you feel like, and then you are talking to a friend and you say, oh, yeah, when I'm upset, I eat a lot. And then you realize, wait, is that me or is that my dad? Did I pick it up from him? And then even this realization that I picked it up from him will completely make that pattern leave you, at least for a while. It might come back because, parts of your ego come back. But when they come back, you have to kind of tell them that, you're not serving me anymore. So please go away. So don't hate those parts of you, because they are parts of you. And you will feel like this has been put on you, but to be frank, that's just the nature of reality. You will pick up things from your surroundings. You can't stay as an island for too long. So, and especially as a child, you can't. So your parents and your family, birth family, were probably very unaware of it, and they might still be pretty unaware of it. So when you start doing your own thing, they might not like it, because they are expecting the old you. They don't know this new you. You also don't know this new you. You are becoming a better version of yourself. uh, so they might actually not like you changing, and they might want to change you back to what you were before. But don't do that. And sometimes, you might be tempted to kind of wake them up, and you might tell them something. So if you really want to do that, you can do that. But they will wake up when the time for them is right to wake up. So you can't wake them up. You can only put some seeds, plant some seeds in their head. But when the time is right for them, they will wake up. So yeah, so that's how you kind of break a generational curse. You accept that it was there, and then you act with awareness. And you you might also experience a lot of anger towards your birth family, or towards the people who have put this pattern inside of you. But so take some time to heal that anger, to transmute that anger, to let go of that anger. Maybe I'll do some videos on anger, because anger comes up a lot in healing. And yeah, just make a promise to yourself not to go back to those old ways. And give yourself a break if sometimes you do again relapse into those patterns. That's okay. Maybe something more had to be released, and that's why the pattern came back up again, because it wasn't completely its time. It wasn't completely gone yet. So if an energy comes up to go, don't resent it. Think of it as a puke. When you have had a bad food, you really have to puke it all out so that it leaves your system. So this is similar to that. When you decide that I want to get rid of a pattern or a dynamic or a generational curse, it will take some time, and it will come out as bouts of puking. So let it go in its own time. How many ever times you have to puke it out. And yeah, you are doing actually a great transmutation over generations by doing this. So stay in your power. Even if no one supports you, know that I support you. And all the people who are watching this channel, I see so much of support on the community boards, and I feel so blessed that this platform is available so that people can help each other, support each other. That was my whole intention when I created this channel. Because I needed that when I was at a particular phase in my life, and I got it from very good friends of mine. But I always envisioned that there should be a channel like this where people can share their stories, find their voice, open their throat chakra, heal their throat chakra, and find some people who are understanding what those other people are going through. So yeah, so thanks for supporting each other, and thanks for supporting this channel. Please do like, share, subscribe, and share this and comment down below if you want to. And as always, I wish you all a lot of love and a lot of light. Bye. Thank you.